Good morning, girls. In this session, I'm going to deal Kyoto Protocol. Now, from this term, you're understanding that the convention or the conference that has been held in Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto Protocol is the conference to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions. The United Nations organized this conference in Kyoto, Japan. The protocol commits that Annex 1 countries, those are the developed countries, they have to reduce their emission to 10% below the 1990 levels. That means in the year 1990, the amount of emission that they have emitted, they have to cut down 10% from that level. Each country has a prescribed number of emission units which make up the target emission. The Kyoto Protocol provides mechanisms for countries to meet their emission targets. Now, this is also known as Treaty on Global Warming. It started January 2005, although it has been initiated earlier. 189 countries signed, not ratified. Now, when I am using the term ratified or ratification, it means that providing formal consent to abide by the rules and regulations of the treaty. Global companies like BP, IBM, Toyota have plans to reduce emissions. 38 participated developed countries, they need to cut down their emission of carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, which are known as the global warming gases or the greenhouse gases by 2012. The developing countries were earlier excluded. That's why US first did not sign, as China, India and Brazil, they were excluded earlier. Now, this you are aware about the greenhouse gas effect, where these gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, they are having the capacity to trap the radiation of sun, and hence it increase the temperature of the atmosphere of the earth, and hence it is known as the greenhouse gases and the greenhouse gas effect. Now let us see which are the greenhouse gases. The carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, these are the natural greenhouse gases. Hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, sulfur hexafluoride, these are the man-made. When we are using this in the industries, in the gadgets, that's why these are all man-made. Even the naturals also, due to pollution, it can be called man-made also. Now you can see the per capita carbon emitters, the United Nations, they are the highest. Now these are the 6 major greenhouse gases which has been covered in Kyoto Protocol. The carbon dioxide, sulfur hexafluoride, methane, nitrous oxide, hydrofluorocarbon, perfluorocarbon. And the sources is given here: combustion processes, electrical transmission and distribution, coal mining, landfills, wastewater treatment, biomass combustion, agricultural soils and nitric acid production. These are all, that the human activities, due to this, these gases are emitted in the atmosphere. Now this is the graph. You can see that US and Canada, they are the highest in the annual carbon emission, and the caps that has been provided by Kyoto Protocol. Now this Kyoto Protocol is it has a long process of ratification. In addition to UNFCCC, that requires developed countries to limit their greenhouse gas emissions in 2012, as compared to their emissions in 1990, provides detailed method and mechanisms how they can do this, they can reduce this, they can measure, and they can verify. All the members in UNFCCC have not agreed to sign the Kyoto Protocol. This is a long process of ratification when it started by 1997 but required the ratification of more than 55 countries representing more than 55 of greenhouse gas emissions. So it entered into the force 16th February 2005 after ratification of the Russian Federation, now 163 countries covering 61.6 global carbon emission. Now you can see from this global map that green sign they have signed and ratified. Orange color signed and did not ratify. Red signed and then after withdraw. Purple signed but with no binding targets. So ratification, when they would be the countries ratified, that means they have to maintain and abide by the laws and regulations that has been provided by the Kyoto Protocol. Now let us see how UNFCCC Kyoto Protocol, they have given the mechanism how the carbon emission can be curbed down. There is a two process, that is allowance based and the project based. Now when allowance based we are talking about, it is related to international emission trading. It would be discussed further in next session. What is this international carbon trading? Here two countries can trade between them, okay, between the developed countries. This can be done. Now assigned amount of units, if you are abide by that, then you can be coming under the allowance based. Next, project based, we can see the development of the clean technology. This is between the developing countries and the developed countries, where the developed countries will help the developing countries to come up with the clean development mechanism. Then for that the carbon reduction units should be counted. Joint implementation between developed countries, this is also they would be implementing certain clean technology, and that would be between the collaboration between the developed countries, and that also count the emission reduction units. Now next session we will be discussing about the international emission trading.